Good morning, class. This is the structure of stomata, what I have drawn over here. Let's study the structure of stomata. Now, surrounding the stomatal pore are the two guard cells, and these two guard cells are bean-shaped structure. And within the guard cells, we can see the presence of nucleus as well as chloroplast. It can, if it has chloroplast, it means it can prepare its own food. Surrounding the guard cells are subsidiary cells, or it's also known as your epidermal cells. Subsidiary cells or epidermal cells. Now, when the guard cells are filled with water, the stomatal pore opens. Once it starts losing water, okay, in form of water vapor, we see that guard cells have shrunk and the pore also closes. The opening and closing of the stomata of the pore is a function of the guard cell. The guard cells swell when water flows into them, causing the stomatal pore to open. Similarly, the pore closes if the guard cells shrink. Okay, when the water enters, they swell up and the pore opens. When it loses water, we see the guard cells shrink and the stomatal pore closes. Materials like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron and magnesium are taken up from the soil. We know that starch is a food that is prepared by the plant, but that alone is not enough for the plant to survive. It requires other nutrients also. It obtains these nutrients from the soil. Nitrogen is an essential element used in the synthesis of protein and other compounds. This is taken up in the form of inorganic nitrates or nitrites. We know that though we have 78% nitrogen in the atmosphere, plants are not able to use it. Okay, it has to be converted with the help of rhizobium bacteria. It converts the atmospheric nitrogen into inorganic nitrates or nitrites. This is a water soluble form, and then it is absorbed or taken up by the plant. And nitrogen that has been fixed by the plant is further utilized to make proteins. Next, moving on to heterotrophic nutrition. Under that, we need to study three types: parasitic nutrition, saprophytic nutrition, holozoic nutrition. First, let's study about parasitic nutrition. Example is dodder. It's also known as amarbel, or it is also known as cuscuta. Now, what are these parasites? Organisms which depend on other organisms for food and shelter are called parasites. Now, parasites depend on other organisms for either food or shelter. What is this host? Organism which provide food and shelter to a parasite is known as host. Look at this diagram. Over here we see cuscuta, which is a parasite, has coiled around the bark of the tree. This host, this bark of the tree, what I have drawn in brown, or the host, is nothing but potato. It can be potato, chrysanthemum, dahlia and petunia. So, from host, the parasite obtains nutrients. Okay. And this is a small enlarged diagram over here. We see that parasite, that is cuscuta, spreads its roots deep inside the host plant and it takes in all the water, nutrients and food that is being prepared by the host plants. This is about parasitic mode of nutrition. What is this saprophytic nutrition? Example, fungi. Example for saprophytic nutrition is your mushroom. Here in mushroom, what happens is they grow on dead and decaying organic matter. Now this mushroom secretes digestive juices on this dead and decaying matter. Now this dead and decaying matter is broken down to liquid form, and once it is broken down to liquid form, they are absorbed by the mushroom and they derive nutrients from it. This is about saprophytic nutrition. Next, holozoic nutrition. Example, human beings. Here we are taking holozoic nutrition, we are taking the complex organic matter. When I say complex organic matter, it means we are obtaining this from plant or animal source, as well as complex. Why do I call it complex? For example, carbohydrate. Now this is a complex form. This has to be broken down to simple form, that is sugar. So we are taking food in the complex form from the organic source, that is plant source or animal source, and then it is broken inside the body. That is your holozoic nutrition. Now here amoeba exhibits holozoic nutrition. An example for holozoic nutrition. Let's see how does it consume its food. Now, when it senses the food, the amoeba with the help of pseudopodia or the false feet will start moving towards it. Then, using its finger-like projection, it will start surrounding the food particle. Next step is, once it has surrounded the food particle, the membrane fuses. Now, this is known as your food vacuole. Once a membrane has fused and the food particle is within it, then it is known as food vacuole. Then the food vacuole is broken down in presence of enzymes. Okay, and then the important substances diffuse into the amoeba, diffuse into the cytoplasm of the amoeba. These are the 4 steps that are involved in taking enough nutrition in amoeba. This is also known as your holozoic nutrition. Nutrition in human beings. Now, nutrition in human beings follows 5 steps: ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and egestion. Now, what do I mean by these 5 steps? We will be discussing it in the next video. Okay, make a note of all these points in your extra copy. Thank you.